Welcome to the Balanced Blood Sugar Podcast, where we focus on everyday wellness for everyone. I'm Adrienne Wheat, a registered nurse, here to share tips, habits, and lifestyle shifts that can help you feel your best by stabilizing blood sugar and improving your overall health. Everything we discuss is designed for general health and routine education because everyone deserves to feel empowered with the right information. But I'm not your personal nurse, so make sure to check with your healthcare provider before making any changes. Let's dive into today's episode. Hi, friends, and welcome back to the Balanced Blood Sugar Podcast. I'm your host, Adrienne Wheat, registered nurse, wife, mama, and your go-to girl for real talk blood sugar wisdom that doesn't make you feel like you're in a science lab. Today, we're going a little off the beaten nutrition path, but trust me, this episode will absolutely impact your health. Today, we are talking about clutter. Yep. That pile of mail on the counter, the overflowing closet, the toy explosion in the living room, or the piles of laundry. And you might be thinking, Adrienne, what does that have to do with blood sugar? The answer is a whole lot more than you'd think. Today, we're going to connect the dots between visual physical chaos and cortisol and how that affects your blood sugar. So if you've been feeling frazzled, stressed, unmotivated to prep your meals, or constantly craving sugar, you might not need another smoothie recipe. You might just need to clean off your counter. So let's get into it. First up, the science of clutter and cortisol. So let's nerd out just a little. You know I love the body and how God made it to respond to our environment. I mean, we can outrun a bear and a mama can lift a car off her child if necessary, and those are epic things. But sometimes our bodies react in ways we don't even realize and to stuff we may not even realize. So here's the deal. Excuse me. When you're in a cluttered or chaotic space, your nervous system actually registers that environment as stressful, even if you're not actively thinking about it. Studies from Princeton Neuroscience and UCLA have shown that visual clutter competes for your attention. It increases your cognitive load and it actually boosts cortisol, your body's main stress hormone. So there is a reason that you may be feeling overwhelmed with the mess because you are. Your body is stressed by its environment. Now, as a reminder, cortisol isn't bad per se. You know, God gave it to us for a reason. It helps us get out of danger and wake up in the morning. But chronic cortisol spikes, like when your brain is constantly interpreting piles of laundry or a cluttered kitchen as a threat, these can wreak havoc on your body, especially your blood sugar. So let's break it down. When cortisol rises, your liver releases stored glucose into the bloodstream to give you quick energy to run away from a threat. And that's great if you're being chased by a bear, but it's not so helpful if the threat is your kid's Lego minefield or the pile of laundry you've been ignoring for 3 weeks or the dishes in your sink. So every time your stress response is triggered, your blood sugar rises, whether you're eating sugar or not. And that means your insulin has to work harder to mop it up. So this can lead to insulin resistance, energy crashes, cravings, even weight gain, especially around the midsection, all from clutter. And that's wild, right? So now I want you to imagine this. You walk into your kitchen and there are dishes in the sink, papers on the counter, half-finished projects on the table, and you're already running behind. The toddler is whining or you tripped over your cat and you can't even find a clean cup to get some water. Your body doesn't say, oh, no biggie, I'll just tidy up later. Your body says, alert, danger, do something, panic now. And here's the kicker. If your cortisol is constantly running high like that, you won't feel motivated to declutter because high cortisol shuts down your executive functioning, that part of your brain that helps you to plan and prioritize and follow through. So instead of decluttering, you find yourself diving into Netflix or scrolling social media to escape the clutter. And that's why it can feel so overwhelming to start. But friend, I promise you, once you do, your body will feel the shift just as much as your brain. So I want to pause here and remind you of this truth. 1 Corinthians 14:33 says, "For God is not a God of disorder, but of peace." You were never meant to live in constant chaos. You were created for peace. Peace is your inheritance as a child of the King. So creating peace in your physical environment is one way to support your emotional, spiritual, and physiological health. And not just yours, but your family's as well. Now, this isn't about having a perfect Pinterest-worthy home 24/7, but to borrow an idea from a book that I've been reading called The Life-Giving Home, it's about aligning your outside world with the peace that God promises you on the inside. Then, in a way, how you create home in your physical world becomes a manifestation of heaven on earth, of God's will of peace on earth. One little home at a time. Isn't that beautiful? Like, who knew God could use our housekeeping to bring him glory? Okay, so now let's get practical. Let's talk about what you can do right now to start shifting that stress load without overhauling your entire house, okay? So here are 3 clutter-busting wins that you can do in 15 minutes, okay? Yes, even with toddlers running around and laundry screaming your name or a full-time work schedule. Number 1, just clear one surface. Clear one surface that you use every day. You can pick one. It can be your kitchen counter or your nightstand, your bathroom sink, or your entryway table that tends to catch all the things when you come home. Set a timer for 15 minutes and just focus on that one space. Wipe it down. Toss the junk. Put things where they belong or in a box to donate later if you don't need it. And then when you walk by it later, your brain will say, safe, calm, and peace. And that little shift alone can actually lower your cortisol and therefore your blood sugar. So, option number 2, you can create a peace corner. Choose one small area of your home that becomes your visual sanctuary. Maybe it's a comfy chair with your Bible and journal or a little placemat for your coffee. Maybe it's your bed and it's made nicely with no laundry piled on top of it. And this becomes your reset zone. When your world feels crazy, you go sit there, take a breath, pray. Even 2 minutes in a decluttered space can recalibrate your nervous system. Isn't that crazy? Even just 2 minutes. 2 minutes in a visually decluttered space can recalibrate your nervous system. And the last one is the 10-item tidy. Now, I like this one because it's very flexible and it can be done pretty fast. You just pick any room and you remove 5 things to throw away, 3 things to put back where they belong, and 2 things to donate or give away. And that's it. You'll be amazed by how quickly momentum builds. Sometimes just that little burst is all you need to re-engage your let's do this energy and activate your executive functioning part of your brain that had been shut down. So even if you can just do just a little bit, your brain might go, oh, hey, we can do some more. Oh, hey, we can do some more. So just trying to give it that little jump start can mean all the difference. And then bonus tip, if you have a family at home, if you're a mama like me, we are not called to carry the whole household alone. Even your little ones, like my toddler, can help put away toys or put laundry in baskets, or they can throw away the garbage or wipe down a counter. We love using Norwex in our home because all it takes is water to clean something. And so she can just go around and clean everything. Make it fun. Play music, set a 10-minute timer, and just make it a game. You're not just lowering stress. You're actually creating a life-giving home and modeling peace for the next generation. And, teaching them how to have good housekeeping because, I feel like that's kind of a lost art for many of us nowadays. So starting to instill that type of thing in your children when they're young can really help set them up with this habit of creating a peaceful, life-giving home that they'll be able to have for themselves and for their families in the future. All right, friend, here is your challenge for this week. I want you to pick one drawer, one shelf, or one room and declutter it. And then I want you to pause and take a deep breath and notice how your body feels. Do you feel lighter, calmer, more motivated to do some more? That is your nervous system saying thank you. So I hope today's episode gave you permission to let go of the feeling of, am I going crazy? When you stress or overwhelm and it hits you when your home is cluttered. And I hope it motivated you to start breaking down that mess that's been weighing you down. Not just for the sake of aesthetics, but truly for your health and the health of those that you love. Sometimes the most powerful changes we make for our blood sugar don't involve food at all. They involve choosing peace, choosing order, and choosing to steward what we've been given inside and out. Remember, God doesn't expect perfection, He delights in progress, just like a parent delighting in toddler scribbles. As we always say, progress over perfection. Any step forward is a win. And every cleared counter is a little act of rebellion against chaos. So I'd love to see what clutter you tackled this week. Post it in your stories, post it on your Facebook page, and tag me at Wellness Through Unity, or send me an email or a message. I want to celebrate the small wins with you together because they really do add up. And if you haven't yet, make sure to grab our Get Started guide to balancing your blood sugar. It's full of some practical, other real life ideas and some of our fave recipes. You can grab the link in the show notes. I also am putting the link there for the book that I mentioned, so until next time, I want you to take a deep breath, clear space, and let peace be your new normal.